On you. On the News Express, President Tinubu proceeds over inaugural FEC meeting towards a more vibrant judiciary. President Tinubu promises radical performance and reforms. Federal government vows to end all theft in sports. Enyimba and Remo Star eliminated from CAF Champions League. Hello, a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Express, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is currently proceeding over the first Federal Executive Council meeting of his administration at the council chambers of the State House in Abuja. The new cabinet members were inaugurated last Monday after their confirmation by the Senate. The cabinet is made of 45 ministers who scaled through the screening, while 3 older nominees were denied clearance. Also attending are Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folasade Yemieson, and the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila. President Tinubu had at the swearing in of ministers on August 21st emphasized that their highest obligations is to restore public faith in government so that Nigerians can once again believe that the right hand in government can perform. He had also urged the ministers to serve with integrity, dignity, and deliver. He said he would hold them to the high standard of the expectations of Nigerians. Also, the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says Nigeria would not sustain failed economic theory that sees to the wastage of 90% of its scarce revenue in the servicing of external debt in the midst of many development challenges facing the country. The President made this known while declaring open the annual conference of the Nigeria Bar Association at the Velodrome Chief MKO Abiola Stadium, Abuja. Our correspondent, Uyi Agbemafiegbe, tells us more.
While energizing the gathering of 16,190 speech, President Tinubu stated that the prosperity Nigerians require will only occur once poverty is banished from society with the focused cooperation of Nigeria's private sector leaders, many of whom were present at the opening ceremony.
Changes and bold endeavors will be embarked on
it right, charting the course for Nigeria's nation building. The president stated that hard decisions must be made to set the country on a growth trajectory, despite the initial pains which meaningful reforms usually bring.
If the topic of tonight or this week must be what Nigeria hopes for, if we must achieve greatness as a nation, what do we do except take bold decisions? It could be painful at the beginning. In the medium term and long run, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the generation yet unborn.
In his welcome address, NBA President Yakubu Mekiao, SAN, expressed the confidence of the NBA in the ability of President Tinubu to deliver good governance to Nigeria because of his pedigree and past track record of excellent performance in Lagos State, where he was the governor between 1999 and 2007.
We have decided to go on with this conversation around the thematic areas of security, economy, and administration of justice, because these are matters that are of great concern to the people of this country. It is our intention that at the end of this meeting, we would have set an agenda on behalf of the people of this country.
The conference was attended by the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, past NBA presidents, and many senior government officials, among others.
Thank you very much for that report. Also, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said the country cannot continue to service its debt with 90% of its revenue, noting that the country was headed for destruction in the event that it sustained that trajectory. Tinubu, who spoke during the annual conference of the Nigeria Bar Association on Sunday in Abuja, said his administration must take difficult changes to better the laws of the country. The President, who said there is hope for a great Nigeria, called for the cooperation and the support of the private sector. Speaking on the electric power supply in the country, the President described the situation as shameful. He, however, promised that his administration would ensure that Nigeria generates and distributes the electricity the economy requires to thrive. A total of 370 farmers across the country are built to benefit from the intervention of Renewed Hope Initiative, a brainchild for Nigerian First Lady Oluremi Tinubu in the agriculture sector. Sandra Akpa reports that the intervention includes distribution of sidelines, pesticides and fertilizer to between 15 and 20 farmers in each state, making up a total of 370.
This is one of the key resolutions at the meeting of zonal coordinators of the initiative with the national president and convener of the Renewed Hope Initiative, Oluremi Tinubu. Other interventions in the sector include a proposal to encourage the establishment of farm markets in strategic locations and home gardens among Nigerians, towards facilitating easy access to fresh farm produce.
You can start with 10 farmers so that they will equip them with seedlings, fertilizers, and some basic tools. And one of the programs we are looking at programs that we see how they take their produce from farm to market. And one of the things we want to encourage you and to tell your colleagues is to have what they call farmers market. Farmers market is very, very good. You can identify a location that all these your farmers that you can take from farm to this local market, so that they come in, they will sell their market straight.
Another key intervention area for the initiative is a partnership with United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, to streamline and sanitize the process of birth registration. The partnership will explore and promote immunization towards stamping out polio. The First Lady, however, called on the zonal coordinators to be at the vanguard of the process in their respective domains, urging them to be part of the immunization process.
We have UNICEF. UNICEF wants to develop a roadmap to accelerate birth registration. I am quite excited about it.
Zonal coordinators of the Renewed Hope Initiative were drawn from among state governors' wives in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Sandra Akpa for Global TV News.
Thank you very much, Sandra Akpa, for that report. Also, 46 Nigerian students in tertiary institutions across the country have emerged the first set of beneficiaries as the Renew Hope Initiative, an initiative of Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, flagged off the National Scholarship Program for Tertiary Education. The beneficiaries were drawn from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, while others were nominated by various women's societies, including National Council for Women's Societies and Defense Staff and Police Officers' Wife Association, D-Power. Judith Peters completes the report. At the ceremony held in the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, the First Lady and National President of the
with the introduction of the student loan scheme. As a society, it is our moral responsibility to bridge the gap and provide every child with the opportunity to reach their highest potential, regardless of their background. The Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI Scholarships program is a commitment and a promise that we make today to identify with the youth of Nigeria, to say to them that their dreams and aspirations matter.
She further urged the beneficiaries to take their studies seriously as their GPA will be taken into consideration in subsequent years. The First Lady also encouraged them to take on vocational skills.
Most of the recipients of the scholarship scheme I've had in the past, I encourage them to learn a trade. Okay? Learn a trade. Even I'll give you an example. One of my girls who is a medical doctor from Borno State, when I first met her, I asked her, Fatima, what can you do? She said, I can plait hair. She does that in the campus. That is extra money for her.
The Renewed Hope Initiative Director of Education, Professor Hafsat Ganduje, in her remark, identifies intervention in education as one of the 5 pillars of the initiative.
The mission statement of the initiative is towards a better life for families, with its scope covering 5 major areas, which comprises of agriculture, education, health, economic empowerment, and social investments. Today's event, which marks the maiden National Scholarship Award by the Renewed Hope Initiative to newly admitted students of Nigerian federal and state universities and other tertiary institutions, falls under the scope of education.
The inaugural National Scholarship Program of the Renewed Hope Initiative is a 4-year scholarship program of 1 million naira per year and a laptop for each beneficiary. The ceremony was attended by Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, and Minister of State for the FCT, Maria Mahmoud. City News Express on Glover TV. And now the Economic Committee of West African States, ECOWAS, has demanded a shorter transition from the junta in Niger. The chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Head of State and Government, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, told the ulemas during a meeting on Thursday that the 3-year transition proposed by the military leaders was unacceptable to the regional body. The ulemas had held a meeting with the Niger junta in a bid to avert military intervention to restore democracy in the Francophone country as planned by the ECOWAS. During their interface, the junta leader, General Abdurrahmani Tiani, had indicated an interest in holding a dialogue to resolve the political impasse resulting from the ouster of President Mohamed Bazoum in the July 26 coup. They also asked the ulemas to prevail on Tinubu to restore electricity, which was cut off from Niger as part of sanctions imposed by the ECOWAS. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that he takes a cue from no nation but will only advance the interests of the Nigerian state in his approach towards ECOWAS, handling of regional standoff, particularly in Niger Republic. A statement by the presidency on Saturday indicated the president received an invitation to a sideline event at the United Nations General Assembly in New York from the U.S. President Joe Biden. Tinubu was also said to have advised U.S. Presidential Envoy and Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, Ambassador Molife, to ensure that U.S. policy is intentionally collaborative with independent African democracies at a time where they are under assault by anti-democratic forces within and outside of the continent. The president noted that American-backed development finance and multilateral institutions, which were designed to support war-torn Europe after World War II, require swift and comprehensive reform to meet the developmental requirements of younger democracies in Africa, which operates in authoritarian, crowded environments, would no longer be manipulated to serve self-seeking demagogues through unconstitutional takeovers of the power. The release of the huge volumes of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon has made states along the path of River Benue in Nigeria brace up for possible flood disaster in their various domains. To prevent deaths and other disasters associated with floods, states that are likely to be affected have asked residents of the flood-prone areas to vacate such communities. According to the National Emergency Management Agency officials, no fewer than 11 states, including Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, Anambra, Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Cross River, are likely to feel the negative impact of the opening of the dam. The state on Sunday advised such residents to leave the areas to avoid impact on human lives and valuable assets. It was gathered on Sunday that Cameroon informed the federal government that it would soon open its Lagdo Dam. The director of the African Affairs, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Umar Salisu, said in a letter dated August 21, 2023, that the ministry received a note from the High Commission of Cameroon as regards the opening of the dam. Also, the Center for Transparency Advocacy, CTA, has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to adopt essential technology and address challenges related to the uploading of election results. The Election Observer Group made a call during the public presentation of CTA's report on the 2023 election titled Public Perception of INEC and the Conduct of Elections in Nigeria. A comprehensive survey, Executive Director of CTA, Faith Nwadishi, at the event noted that stakeholders have differing viewpoints on whether INEC conducted free, fair, inclusive, and credible elections since Nigerians returned to democracy. She also called for an increased involvement of civil society organizations in educating citizens during electoral processing to contribute to ensuring credible future elections. And now the food, textile, and 24 other sectors of the economy lost over 1 trillion naira in the second quarter of 2023. This is as 26 sectors of the economy shrank in second quarter based on an analysis of the gross domestic product data from the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. The sector that shrunk second quarter 2023 were fishing, crude petroleum, and natural gas, cement, food, beverage and tobacco, textile, apparel and footwear, wood and wood product, pulp, paper and paper product, non-metallic product, basic metal, iron and steel, motor vehicles and assembly, other manufacturing, construction, accommodation and food services, road transport and air transport, other sectors that were negatively impacted in the second quarter 2023 were post and courier services, publishing, motion pictures, sound recording and music productions, art, entertainment and recreation, financial institutions, real estate, professional, scientific and technical services, education and other services, metal alloys and plastic and rubber product. The decline in economic activity has been tied to recent economic reforms, which have been predicted to cause some discomfort in the short term. The removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of exchange rates have hit businesses negatively, according to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Manufacturers have been forced to cut jobs due to the current harsh economic environment and produce reproductive system. And now the Naira depreciated against the dollar on Friday as it exchanged at 778.42 Naira at the investors and exporters window. The Naira lost by 0.87% compared to the 771.69 it exchanged for the dollar on Thursday. The open indicative rate closed at 773.29 to the dollar on Friday. A sports exchange rate of 799.90 to the dollar was the highest rate recorded within the day's trading before it settled at 778.42. The Naira sold for as low as 700 Naira to the dollar within the day's trending. And of course, you're watching the News Express on Global TV, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using @Global TV NG. We'll be back with more stories for you after this short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's still Global TV television bringing you live broadcasts of the News Express from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. And now the federal government has vowed to put an end to the crude oil theft and economic sabotage in the Niger Delta region. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru made this known when he led a high-powered federal government delegation to the area. Kikelomo Okere reports that the visit was barely 24 hours after the inspection of the Port Harcourt refinery and petrochemical complex to assess start-up readiness by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, all Ministers of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas Permanent Secretary, Minister of Petroleum Resources, and the NNPC Limited team led by the Group Chief Executive Officer, Mele Kyari.
Briefing newsmen shortly after the tour, Badaru says the delegation was sent by President Bola Tinubu with the charge to stem crude oil theft in Nigeria. He says the delegation observed illegal connection costing the country millions of dollars losses, adding that the losses were part of the reason why Nigeria could not meet OPEC quota. Corroborating Badaru, Group Chief Executive Officer NNPCL Mele Kyari says the damage of one location in Abia State was costing Nigeria a loss of $7.2 million, over 5 billion naira per month. NNPC GCEO noted that while all theft in vessel could be tracked, the host community must play a vital role in curbing oil theft within their communities where oil facilities are situated. According to the Chief Security Officer of the Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, arrests have been made and some culprits have been prosecuted. After a ground assessment of illegal connection points and destroyed illegal refineries, Nigerian Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu applauds the role of the government security forces, community security contractors, and NNPCL in stepping up the fight against crude oil theft and economic sabotage that profits only a few citizens, he rightly labeled as criminal and bandits. The joint participation of the Minister, the National Security Advisor, service chiefs, oil and gas industry regulators, the NNPCL leadership underscores the unity of purpose among various stakeholders to combat the large-scale economic sabotage holding the entire country to ransom. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News, Abuja.
And that's it on the Global TV News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching. Good evening.